Andy, we're talking Chipotle, we're talking burritos, not McDonald's, but McDonald's used to own Chipotle, so it's a good tie in there. But what are you guys seeing as far as data goes on Chipotle from LikeFolio?
Yeah, Chipotle is very interesting. So what we look at LikeFolio are a number of people talking about going into Chipotle stores, eating a burrito there, what we call purchase intent mentions. And so this is people actually talking about doing business with Chipotle. And if we look at it over the course of the last 6 or 7 years, you can see that this data, LikeFolio data in green, purchase intent mentions, has been very well correlated with the stock. It's been one of our best tradable companies where our data has led the stock nicely until the last 9 months. When Chipotle put in the new CEO, you can see a big divergence there. And that's essentially, in my view, it's saying that investors have a lot of high expectations for what this CEO can deliver. It looks like from our data, they're not necessarily delivering that yet. We see no meaningful uptick in the number of people shopping at or eating at Chipotle. And so this is one of those cases where I see some opportunity, because it seems to me like Wall Street has extremely high expectations of new management. Couldn't probably get any worse than the old management, and this guy comes over from Taco Bell, which is a great execution leader. So I understand the optimism, but so far in LikeFolio data, we have not seen it translate to more people coming through the door and getting in line for burritos at Chipotle.
Andy, in terms of an assignment for LikeFolio, Chipotle is a batting practice fastball right down the middle, right? You guys love talking with this because, unlike a lot of things, this is a heavy social media platform, right? But I'm really concerned, or no, I'm not concerned. The CEO, a lot of hype when he came in there, right? But what major changes has this guy done other than, he came with a pretty strong resume?
Yeah, I think what we're going to find out. I think that's the answer. So is he better on an execution basis? Is management better at getting profits out of the customers that are coming in the door? Is their pricing strategy better? I think that their product strategy is better. They still haven't figured out how to melt cheese and give us a quesadilla, which is amazing to me. But they got these protein bowls and, really hopping on this, ketogenic low-carb movement, doing a good job with that. And so I think that there's definitely positives coming from what the CEO's doing. But in terms of LikeFolio data and what we're seeing on the ground, and you're right, this is one of our better companies in terms of people talking about it. We just are not seeing any traction in terms of getting more people in the door, which I think should be concerning with the stock over $500 here for any investor in Chipotle.
Yeah, Andy, you bring up a great point here, is the fact that this guy was at Taco Bell. He did a good job, but he's doing the same thing at Chipotle by creating these new bowls, right? Where he takes the same 6 ingredients, mixes them up a different way, and then calls it a new item. But that worked at Taco Bell. Is it going to work here at Chipotle, where the price points basically double? I mean, is your data showing that, or is it just, it's one of those things that the bowls are already customizable, but so you don't need somebody to tell you what to get.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's a classic Taco Bell play. It's putting a new name on an existing combination that probably people have been ordering for a long time. Leave the rice out, and now all of a sudden it's a protein bowl. I get it. I think it's good strategy, but it doesn't matter if people. It doesn't matter if people aren't coming in the door to order it. It doesn't matter what you offer. And Chipotle's brand is definitely damaged in a big way, and that shows through in our data.
Yeah. We'll see if that can work out for them. But for more on social media, we're going to bring in TD Ameritrade Network's own Jenny Horn. Good morning, Jenny.
Good morning, guys.
Talking Chipotle, millennials love Chipotle, right?
Yeah, and Andy touched on a huge thing. That's the ketogenic, the paleo, the Whole30 is something they're trying to hugely implement into their advertising. I saw actually an Instagram ad, which I've never seen before, for Chipotle that was like, try our Whole30 bowl. So like,
what's keto?
It's
keto is
high
fat, high protein, low carb.
Exactly, nailed it. But these are things that
millennials are. The fact that I'm telling you that is a little frightening.
Yeah, it is. But these are things millennials are super keyed in on, and things millennials love. So seeing this on my Instagram a few weeks ago, I was like, wow, I was super impressed. And the stock is up 20% in 2019, so I think they're doing something right. I have to kind of disagree with Andy there.
Oh boy! Okay.
Whoa!
Battle on!
Shots fired!
But our first tweet says, It seems most would rather buy Chipotle, which now has a market valuation double what Panera Bread was sold for when it had the same number of stores and revenue. Satch was applauded for that deal. Jab questioned. This Chipotle valuation is one of the most incredible things I've ever seen in markets. So this is a bit of a statement. What do you make of Chipotle's valuation?
I agree completely, and that is the failure to launch in my eyes is because I look at it's not a new growing company anymore. It's established.
But it is growing. They're opening new outlets.
Well, they better be with a 77 PE because it's like 4 and 5 times the other restaurants.
And they made comments about that their footprint's not as big. They don't have the scale, Kevin. We always talk about scale.
Yes,
they don't have the scale of the fast food or the other fast casual places, and they're continuing to grow. And that's one of the objectives of this new CEO. So we have to wait and see what kind of he says on the conference call. I think more than anything, they don't have earnings for a couple weeks, but. This is a big topic, I think, as far as scale goes. Jenny, you got another tweet for us?
I do. Our next tweet is from Chris Carolyn, who says, I hadn't eaten Chipotle in a long time, but decided to have an early meal there this evening. There were 0 customers there at 5:50 p.m., not a single person. Apparently, I'm not the only one who had stopped going to Chipotle. So, Andy, are you seeing this at all? You mentioned that you're slightly bearish on Chipotle going forward. Do you see this at all in your purchase intent data?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what Chris is seeing on the ground is what we're seeing in the data. You know, Chipotle, I think, is priced to its potential. And, you know, I had a basketball coach in college who's one of his great lines to me was, I'll clean it up a little bit for TV, but it was, Andy, they say you have great potential. Do you know what potential means? It means you haven't done anything yet. And so that's what I think is going on with this Chipotle CEO. And, you know, it's a lot of high expectations, very high expectations for this management team. And will they live up to it? I don't know. We'll find out through 2019. But I think Chris is seeing what we're seeing in the data. He's seeing in real life, which is always great to see people get out there and do their own channel checks.